AI is a great tool for building a skeleton if you're writing a book. But a skeleton, it doesn't have a soul. I get asked the question a lot, Mary, can I write my book using AI? The answer is yes, you can. I don't recommend it, but I know maybe you don't have time or maybe you don't like to write. So go ahead, use AI to get a first draft of your book, but don't publish that raw, unedited version because otherwise you're not planting any flag of your own. You're just adding to the noise. So today I'm going to show you how to take that structure, that flat structure, and give it a heart and a voice. So we'll walk through a high level three steps um, to get your manuscript from a generic anybody could have done this kind of product into a professional grade manuscript. Okay, so step one is going to be let's decommission some of that generic default stuff that we all know that AI comes up with. So it's the things like you're going to leverage this or that in today's landscape. Um, it's essential to consider. So a lot of that filler stuff. So your first task is going to be an audit task. And if you saw my first video, the first question in the filter that we talked about, that 3 filter test, was is this my voice or am I echoing somebody or something else? Or is it a corporate echo? And so the fix to that, step one, is apply the filter. So if a sentence sounds like it could be said by anyone in your industry, it probably doesn't belong in your book because do you really want to be paddling in the sea of sameness? I don't think so. So, that's your first filter. Let's go to number two. Number two is I want you to inject your own lived experience. So you've got an AI draft, you've gone through and done step one, and you've taken out some of those, corporate speak or generic phrases out of your book. So now go through the book again. Where can you go through your manuscript, I should say? Where can you inject your own lived experience? What about your stories? And you can do it systematically from start to finish from your AI draft manuscript. Now, what you can do is you can perform like a voice extraction, which is basically, I mean, I think this is the easiest way to do it. Stop typing and start talking. So you can grab your favorite recording app or whatever. It can be on your phone, it can be on your laptop, and you talk about your experiences. So if we were doing this together, I would say, um, tell me about a time that that concept actually saved you, or the first time you learned that concept, the one you're writing about in your book. Or maybe a time when you ignored it and paid the price, and that's how you realized how important it was, and that's why it's in your book. Or how about the time this thing failed? That's another one. Failures are good stories, especially when you can articulate the lesson that comes from them. And what if you're talking about transitioning from corporate into entrepreneurship? What did it feel like when you actually quit your corporate job? That's the emotion and the stuff that AI can't draft for you. So that's how you're going to get those messy human details back into your manuscript. It's the hidden gold. And it's the heart. And it's that soul. Like we said, the skeleton doesn't have a soul, doesn't have a heart. And it's what makes you a person and not a piece of the algorithm. Okay, so that's step one and step two. Step three, you're going to engineer the bridge. And what I mean by that is our bridge is going to carry the reader from point A to B, or from point A to B to C to D to E. Like, you get my drift. And if a reader can skip your chapter 4 and not get lost, then your bridge is broken. That's my opinion. And that's for a specific kind of book. So a nonfiction book where you want to take your reader through a journey, or you want to teach them something. Each thing should build on the last thing. So each chapter should build on the last chapter. And so you'll need to build a structure. How are you going to engineer this? Well, I have a framework. So you'll remember the selective clarity framework that I talked about in my first video. That's the philosophy. The S.T.R.I.D.E, S-T-R-I-D-E framework is the application of the selective clarity. The selective clarity was the filter, it's the subtraction. So S.T.R.I.D.E stands for survey, tune, release, identify, design, examine, engage. S.T.R.I.D.E. And I think what I'll do is I'll flash it on the screen. You can take a screenshot if you like. So things that you're going to ask yourself, you're going to do the S.T.R.I.D.E scan. Now there's a lot more to the framework, which if you're working with me as a client, we would go through it in depth. Here I'm going to share with you for today the S.T.R.I.D.E scan. So here are the questions that you're going to ask your AI generated outline, or your table of contents, even. You can start with that. So survey, S.T.R.I.D.E, survey is the first letter. Does the order of your table of contents or your outline, does it make sense? Is it logical? So that's one. Tune, is the rhythm varied or is it flatline? So if you get an AI generated draft and you look at it and you analyze it a bit, it is going to sound flat. But when you're talking to me or talking to somebody else, you're not flat, you're animated. There's inflections in your voice. There's short sentences, longer sentences. So you want the rhythm in your book to be varied. Otherwise, it's going to put people to sleep. So that's tune. So we've got survey and tune. Next is release. Did you actually, in step 1, go back and cut out those those industry echoes? Have you done that? That's release. Then we go to identify. Is your flag planted in every chapter? Have you made sure that you put yourself, you've humanized the chapters to sound like you, and including your personal stories? That was part of step 2. Then we get to design. Does it look and feel like a professional asset? It's going to be permanent once you put it out there. So we want it to be a great professional asset. And all these things, like I said before, this is your technical bridge. There's the cohesiveness, there's your taking your reader from point A to point B, or point A to the whatever the promise of your book is. So the last one is in S.T.R.I.D.E is examine and engage. Is there a clear step for your reader? That could be for every chapter too. Do you want them to have a step after each chapter, or at the end? Is there a clear step and a wrap up and something that they can take away? So that's your entire bridge. And if you can't answer yes to all 6, you don't have a book yet that you can publish. You've got the raw material, sure, but you don't have a book yet. You've got the bricks, I think, is a great way to say it. Using technology to start your book, I think that's okay. But publishing without a human audit, without humanizing it yourself, sure. Can you use an AI humanizer on your AI generated draft? Yes. I don't recommend it. You're human. I want you to humanize your own draft. And we talk about DIY things here, right? That's what my channel is about. But if you need help, please reach out. Go to mkranger.com. You can um, submit the form there, and then I'll get back to you. Your goal, it's not just to finish this book. Okay, fine, you finished the first draft, but you want to establish your authority and your legacy, and maybe you want your book to be the hub with all the other activities being the spokes. So if you're ready to distill your wisdom into an asset that outlasts all the noise, you're in the right place. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Again, don't let the machine have the last word. It's your book, your rules, and your voice. The world needs more of your story. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one.